Hello. Everything work out with your client? Yeah. Yeah. Start in a minute. We'll log in.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you, Liz?
Hanging in there. My buyer canceled. I had a consultation today.
And they canceled the meeting?
Yeah, last minute. I called her and she's like, and I was like, oh, I'm here. And she's like, oh, I sent you a text. And I'm like, well, I'm here. Where did you send it? She's like, oh, what's up? I sent it earlier. And I go and look like 10 minutes earlier. I'm
I
like,
see. Yeah,
so
she
nice and so thoughtful.
yeah, she either forgot about it or she has something more important to do. That's all.
Yeah. I told her, let's just do it, let's just do a quick phone call later when you get home.
Yeah,
No
you can do
biggie.
that too. You can do that. You can do it over the phone.
So now I'm purchasing supplies, but I'm not doing this. It's too much. I'm just gonna go to my car and listen to what you have to say.
All right. Well, we're going to focus on qualifying the buyer today. So it's a fun conversation to have since every buyer, we should be pre-qualifying them. So it's and making sure that they're ready, willing, and able to get going. Obviously in today's market, it's a different definition yet. You especially don't want to waste your time in today's market because it's easy to do so when things are as crazy as they are. So we'll get started at 6 o'clock. So I'll just let people in as they come in. Here, one more. All right. So, welcome to Career Builders. It's happy Thursday. It's 6 p.m. So let's get it started. My name is Ron with the Zamir Group, Keller Williams. In case you don't know me, I think I know most of you by now. So I'm a buyer specialist, and qualifying buyers is what I do on a daily basis, since I speak to buyers on a daily basis, and I have a lot of meetings, experiences, conversations with buyers. So I'm going to just share with you what we should be doing when we meet buyers. So let's just say, theoretically, and of course I'll stop and ask you guys questions if you have any questions about anything. But one of the first things that we do, or we want to do, when we meet any buyer, it doesn't matter what platform, doesn't matter if they come from the open house, doesn't matter if they come from incoming online leads or sign leads or referral, it doesn't really matter where it comes from. Your first step is to qualify the buyer. I'm going to go ahead and mute them. Okay, and I think we're good now. And there's a few questions that are involved. So what kind of questions do you guys think we should be asking them when we're qualifying them? What do you guys think? What are some of those questions?
I don't like his classes.
What's that?
You have a pre-approval?
Yeah, that's one of the questions, right? Let me see if I can share my screen. I can. That's awesome. Here, so I'm going to put the a script. I took this from PlaySync, which is a big group in Keller Williams. I think they're the largest. Yeah, they sold about $1 billion worth of volume across the country. They have a little. Anyway, so this is their pre-qualification script. So if you look at the script itself, so it's called an LP Mama script. The reason that what that's short for, what that it's an acronym for, is a location, price, mortgage, agency, motivation, and appointment. So LP Mama, just an acronym for those. So when we're pre-qualifying a buyer, these are some of the questions that you want to discover. Now, one of the more interesting, I guess they're all important for different reasons, but one of the important questions is motivation. We forget, many buyers agents forget to discover what a buyer's motivation is. One of the first things that we do when we go to a listing appointment is we ask them, well, what's important about selling? Why sell now? And then they answer the question. Yet we forget many times to ask the buyer, well, why do you want to buy? Discover their motivation. So it's an easy one. It's a do you rent or do you own question, and you'll discover their motivation. So that's easy. Now, some of the other ones, of course, is agency. Half the calls that I get today, they have an agent they're working with. And what I found is, if we're not qualifying them and we're not discovering the information, we are more likely to waste our time. What's the goal? What's the intention of, qualifying a buyer? Is to discover how much time, energy, and effort we need to be spending on that specific, prospect, client, customer, consumer, buyer, whatever you want to call them. That's what it's for. We don't want to waste our time. And what you'll find is, I don't know if you've discovered this yet for yourselves, just yet the public, consumers, they have no problem wasting our time. So that's the point of qualifying. That's the intention. That's the goal of qualifying, because we don't want somebody wasting our time. Now, if you don't mind somebody wasting your time, then just don't bother qualifying. I can guarantee you with 100% certainty that's exactly what they're going to do. The outcome you're looking for is not necessarily going to, I guess, come to play. It's not gonna happen. It's less likely to occur if we don't qualify them. So, there's different scenarios. We call them jump and run, go and show type agents, and that was me. I was in the beginning. I was doing the same thing. I had to learn the hard way, just like many other agents did. You get the phone call in, and you get excited, and you want to go show them this home. You want, the outcome you're looking for is that they're going to like this home. They're going to submit an offer on this home, and it's going to be easy money. And that's just not the case. 99% of the time, what happens is, and happened to me quite often in the beginning, is that you would spend time, 20, 30 minutes maybe, driving over to that meeting. You'd spend another 20, 30 minutes showing them the home. You spend another 20, 30 minutes coming back. You spend a good amount of time on this person that just happened to call out of nowhere. You got up, you ran to show them this listing, and they never responded back to you again. They would never answer your text messages anymore. They'd never answer your phone calls. It was a complete waste of time. So that's why I say the outcome we're looking for isn't necessarily going to happen. There's a very, very low likelihood that it will happen. So we want to qualify them. It's only a few basic questions. How many questions do we need to be asking to really discover, what we need to know, just the basics? You're talking about 6-7 questions. It's nothing too major, right? It's an easy thing to remember. So, some of the basic ones, we're looking at location. Is this, are you looking in this town, or are you looking at any other towns? We're looking at price point. Is this the price range you're looking to be in? Because, they're calling you on a specific property. And then, of course, we're looking for motivation. We want to know if they're working with an agent. We want to know if they've spoken to a lender, or they're going to be, are they financing or purchasing cash? We want other motivation. Do you own or do you rent? And then, of course, if they answered all your questions and you like all the answers, you're going to go for the close. You're going to go for the appointment. Sounds like we should meet. When works best, weekends or weekdays. It's possible they've already told you, can we see this today? Can we see this tomorrow? Can we see this Saturday? So you already know the answer to that question. So there's only a few basic handful of questions we should be asking to get a wealth of information so that we can make a good educated decision on how to proceed. And that's really what it's all about. So did I have any questions from anybody so far? Great. Now, what needs to happen before that call actually comes in? Before, hey, I'm looking for an agent. Hey, I want to see this house. Hey, I want to see homes this weekend. Hey, a friend of mine told me to call you. Before that calls comes in, what should we be doing as agents? How do we prepare for that opportunity? What's something that we could do so that we're not surprised when that call comes in and we're not flustered and we don't know what to say? What's something that we can do as an agent?
What, see the property?
No, I mean, in regards to the pre-qualification process and to pre-qualifying them, what's something that we can do before the call? Actually, yeah, you can role play the script. You can memorize the script. You can internalize the script, right? So that's what we can do. So we can prepare for the opportunity, like I always like to say. Now, you could also have it handy. You can have it on your phone. You can just screenshot, right? The actual few questions, just in case you forget what you should be asking them. And the reason being is we want to make sure that, they're not going to be wasting our time and how much time we want to be investing in them. Because when I get to the question, do you own or do you rent? What if, this is a theoretical, but it happens a lot. What if they say, well, my lease expires in December, at the end of the year? Are you going to rush to show them the home? No, not necessarily. And you can ask the follow-up question. Well, if we find you the right home, the perfect home today, can you terminate that lease? And they'll say, no, we can't terminate the lease, but we'd like to see that. I mean, it'll change your strategy. Again, when I say, it's to discover how much time, energy, and effort we need to be spending with them, these questions will tell us. So if they say, no, we're on a month-to-month lease, does that change your strategy? Does that change how you move forward? Yeah, of course it does. What if they say, we own? What's your follow-up question? The follow-up question is, it's usually, well, I have to ask, or I'm curious, do you need to sell in order to buy? And the answer might be no or yes. And if the answer is yes, well, ding, ding, ding. Well, what is that called? It's called a listing appointment. All right. You're going to schedule a time and day that works for them to come take a look at their home so that you can tell them how much they can sell their home in today's market. That's called a listing appointment. Now, if you don't ever ask the question, do you own or do you rent? You're never going to get there. So ask the question and they'll be pleasantly surprised as to where it ends up. You can get a listing appointment out of it as well, because many sellers are not selling their home. Why? Why aren't sellers selling their home? Why aren't they putting their homes on the market?
There's nowhere to go for them.
Yeah, they don't know what the next move is. And what are they doing? They're going out and they're looking. Yeah, they're going out and they're looking at homes before they even put their home on the market. And that's opportunity. That's an opportunity to get your foot in the door, to see their house, to list their house, to get them on the purchase end as well as the sale end. That's called opportunity. But you have to ask the simple question. It's one of the pre-qualifying questions. Do you own or do you rent? And that's how we discover motivation. Now, they might say, you know what, we own and we don't need to sell in order to buy. And then there's you can dig deeper. Obviously, you want to discover what their long-term plans are. Do they intend on keeping it? Do they intend on selling it anyway? Do they want to rent it out? Have somebody else pay the mortgage? Maybe it's already paid off. So you want to discover as much information as you possibly can so you know how to proceed best. Trust that makes sense? Right. So, it's definitely advantageous to us, or it is of value to us to just ask them these few basic questions. And in order to be ready for these opportunities, we need to prepare. And that just means you have to remember a few questions. Like, I'm not saying you have to know all of them right now even, but if I asked you, you probably could repeat some of those questions to me because they're that easy to remember, right? So you can have it handy, have it on your phone, have it in front of you on your computer when you're taking calls. That's fine too. And I have a lot of I have a lot of people that, are agents that come back to me and they say, well, I don't want to sound scripted, right? And the truth is that you say it enough times, you won't sound scripted. Maybe if you're reading it for the first time and you're reading it off when you're speaking to them, then it might sound a little scripted, yet over time, the more you do it, it sounds less scripted. So any questions so far, any input or any opinions you want to provide? Anything I just said? Cool. I guess I'm doing a good job then. So when it comes to the actual script, actually running the script, Juan, do me a favor for a second. Can you pretend to be a buyer?
Sure.
Sure. So let's just say you're calling off a property that you saw online.
Mhm.
Happens every day, right? So, ring, ring.
Hello? Well, hey, I saw your listing. I saw this property. I want to go check it out.
Yeah, sure. Hi, good afternoon. This is Ron with the Zamir Group, Keller Williams. How are you?
All right.
Okay. So which
like I said,
which property are you calling about? We have quite a few properties.
456 Fairlawn Ave.
Yeah, we just listed that one. Just listed it a day ago. We're having our first open house this weekend. We're already getting an amazing amount of phone calls on it.
Yeah.
We can
I was wondering
definitely.
if I could see it before the open house.
Well, yeah, there's showings did begin yesterday, so we can definitely accommodate you. When were you thinking of saying it?
Okay. Can we set up a day for tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. And what time tomorrow works best for you?
After work, let's say 5 o'clock.
Okay, and I'm curious, where are you coming from? Where do you live now?
Oh, I live in Bergen County.
Oh, okay, so you're close by, not too close,
Yeah.
not too far then. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. And how long have you been looking for a home?
I've been looking for like about 6 months.
Oh, wow. So you know what I call a buyer like yourself? I call you a professional buyer. You've probably been
There you
looking around for a while, and maybe
Yeah,
probably
we
even
haven't. Mhm.
and
Yeah,
you've
we
probably
haven't
been
seen anything we like, but we kind of like this one.
okay, amazing. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, since you've been looking for 6 months, are you working with an agent?
Oh no, we've been going to open houses here and there. Nothing. I haven't been I haven't signed a contract with any agent.
Oh, I see. So you're just going to open houses, it sounds like.
Open house, or I'll call up and they'll open a house for me, and then I'll go see it, and then I haven't liked anything so far, so I want to go
Okay.
check this one out.
And if I can just ask him, what is it that you are looking for?
3-bedroom, family room, eating kitchen, dining room, about 2 baths. Looking for a nice spacious yard. I have family, so we like to cook out, have some cookouts. So yeah.
Okay. And this one's priced at
In the school
450.
district. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I was about to get the price, but we can talk about the important stuff. What would you say about school district?
Good school district. That's the most.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the top, important on the list.
So is Fairlawn the only town that you're looking at?
No, but I see that Fairlawn has, like a town like my sister-in-law who lives there. So I've been around that town. They have like a little center of town, which is okay. I like that.
So if not Fairlawn, are there any other towns that you're considering?
Actually, really haven't. I mean, we've seen a few towns. Again, I'm not specific on a town. I mean, if the house is great and the school system is great, for sure.
Okay, so
That's what I'm looking
those are what's most important to you and your
Yeah.
family. Okay, I understand. And then the price range. This one's listed at 450. Is that the price range you're looking for?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, great. And your lender, you selected the lender that you want to be working with moving forward?
No, not yet. I figured when the time comes, I'll just find a lender, go to a bank
Okay.
or something.
On the surface, that seems like a good strategy. In reality, it doesn't benefit you. Can I explain why?
Why?
Well, the market conditions, they're so aggressive, they're so difficult. There's such a strong seller's market that when you do see the right one, the perfect one,
Mhm.
and you're not ready to go, more than likely, that will be gone by the time you are ready. Do you see the benefit in just being prepared for when the perfect one comes along?
No, I hear you, but the only thing I have is like I don't want to run my credit, and then I don't get the property, and then every time I go, put an offer in, I have to run my credit constantly. That affects my credit.
And
right?
that's I hear that often, yet that's a misconception. It's a common misconception. Generally, when you go to your lender and they'll pull your credit for the loan application, it doesn't affect your credit at all. Basically, very few points, 1 to 2 points, and then they don't pull your credit again for unless it's an extended period of time. We're talking, 6 months or right before closing. So it is advantageous to you. It does benefit you to be ready to go. Select a lender if you need a lender. Nobody sells more real estate than we do in these parts. So what we do is we work with top lenders that take very, very good care of you. Would it be helpful to you if I sent you some contact info for some lenders that'll take good care of you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying to get all that paperwork and I get approved, then they run my credit only once and that's it. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
that's it. That's how it works. And then they'll do it again right before closing.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what happened is, let's just say theoretically you want to shop around. You want to shop your lenders around. It doesn't affect you like credit cards do. When you're obtaining a mortgage, the credit bureaus years ago, they realized that you're only going to be obtaining one mortgage. You're not going. It's not like shopping for credit cards, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect you negatively like you might think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely would recommend you being prepared for the opportunity, which is, when you see that right one, that perfect one, that you are good to go. I'd hate to see you, see the right one, love it, and just miss out on it because we just weren't prepared. And then I wouldn't be doing my job.
Okay. I appreciate the advice. Yeah, sure. Send me the referral. I'll look into it.
Yeah, I'll send that over to you. And you did say that you are ready to see this one on Fairlawn Parkway at 5 p.m. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you think that you can reach out to the lender between now and then?
Yeah, sure. I don't
Okay,
see why
great.
not.
What I found helpful also, Juan, is that when buyers, especially in today's market, when we discuss the buying process, when we speak about the market conditions, when we discover exactly what they're looking for, they feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident with the buying process. Would that be helpful to you if we had that discussion as well?
Yeah, but you're still going to show me the property, or?
Yeah, I'm still going to show you the property. Now, there's two options I can provide you. One is that my office is actually right down the street. It's about 2 minutes down the street from there. We can meet in my office before or after, if that's convenient to you. Does that sound like it might be helpful to you to meet, talk about that, and then go from there?
I
Okay,
mean,
great.
yeah, and if this doesn't work out, I mean, you guys have other properties?
Yes, we do. Actually, nobody sells more homes in the area than we do. So we always have properties coming along. So you're in good hands. We're going to take good care of you, Juan.
All right.
Okay, so why don't we do this? So you said tomorrow at 5 works for you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. Why don't we meet tomorrow at 5 at my office? We'll talk about the buying process, market conditions for about 15 minutes. And we're going to go down the street and see this house. How's that sound?
Sounds great. All right.
Great.
I'll see you tomorrow at 5.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to text you as soon as we hang up my contact info. I'll send you over that contact info for that top lender. And I'll send you what's called an intro email. It's a little bit more about us. So, I do what I say what I do type of thing. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
All right. Appreciate it. See you then.
All right. Did that sound scripted?
No.
Did I cover all my bases?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a wealth of information out of him. I know how much time, energy, and effort I need to be spending on this person. There is one question that I did not ask him. Can anybody pick up on what it was?
The price range?
No, we spoke about price range. There was one that I
How soon
intentionally
you gotta
left
move
out.
out? How soon? Oh,
Your motivation. Yeah, your
motivation.
motivation. Do you see how important? Now, I left that out intentionally because generally it's one of the first questions I ask. I just wanted to see if you guys were going to pick up on it. We said that motivation is key, right? Motivation is important because we may just be wasting our time. Now, what I didn't ask him is just simply, do you own or do you rent? where you are. He says he lives in Bergen County, but I didn't ask the follow-up question. I said, well, do you own or do you rent? That's generally the question that comes right after. So if he would, based on that conversation, I wouldn't have known if I'm wasting my time. So I did a really good job by pre-qualifying him, setting the closing for the appointment. Yet I didn't ask him, if he owns or rent, like what the motivation is. So that's something that we can overcome, especially since if you're not going that far, if it's right down the street, it's not that big of a deal. And when he gets to the office, we can talk about it more. It's not the end of the world if you forget to ask a question. The world did not end, right? The next time you meet, the next time you speak, you can ask him the question you forgot, whether it, whatever it was, doesn't matter. What's important, non-negotiables, how many people are in your family? Do you have any pets? Whatever, where do you work? It's important. Distance to work, is that important to you? No, it's not for me. It's whatever they tell you. All right. And we're going to discover all of that. Now, you could or you could not. It's up to you guys whether you want to get to into discussion about market conditions and strength of offer and buying process right then and there over the phone. It will elongate. It make the conversation a lot longer. There's a benefit. There's a silver lining in there. It obviously communicates, that you're an expert and you know what you're talking about, and we should be working together. So you can take it any direction you wish. There's no right or wrong here. It's just, I think that there's always a better way. Any questions? Any input? No?
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah, what's your question?
So you would not show the house before the appointment, right? Always
So
get that appointment
so let's
in
just
there?
say Juan, Juan would have taken it. No, I don't have time to be at your office. Okay, well, how much time do you have? Like, listen, I have like 30 minutes. I got to get my kids to soccer practice. He just gave me a condition. Like there's a set time. I got to be somewhere by X time. This is what I have. This is the window that I have. So what we could do is we could do what's called a consultation on the go, which we do from time to time, especially when you're not close to an office or close to a meeting point. Is there anything wrong with doing a consultation at the property? The answer is no, there isn't. You could discuss the buying process at the property, in the kitchen. You can talk about the attorney review. You can talk about the inspection period in the dining room. Talk about the mortgage contingency period in the basement. You can talk about the market conditions in the backyard. You can do a buyer consultation on the go. So the goal of the meeting is to prepare them, right? Is to make them more comfortable, more confident with the whole thing called the buying process. And we're going to commute all the information to help that be the case. So, you can do it on the go if you don't simply meet at the office. It's just a direction that you can take it. You have to be flexible, enough to kind of just zig and zag. This is the best way to describe it.
So you would do this only on the first time you meet someone, like let's say, hey, let's go out and then if they say, yeah, you know what, I see another property I want to go look at. Can you get me in?
That could be a follow-up question. When somebody's not pre-approved, like if you would have told me I'm pre-approved, I would have asked you that very same question. Hey, listen, since we're going out to see this other property, would it be helpful to you? Would it benefit you? Would it be of value to you to go see some comparable properties at the same time? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. What you got? I'll say, well, we can go see this property and this property at the same time. And like, yeah, I'd love that. So yes, but you told me it's not pre-approved, so I didn't take the conversation there. I don't want to start showing you multiple properties if I don't actually know that you can obtain a mortgage. So I stopped myself on that one. Again, you have to zig and zag depending on the information that you provide. Make sense?
So you're pivoting.
Yeah.
Just for buyers, do they have to sign you and you have to get them into an agreement, like they're gonna keep you as an agent before you show, or
have to know that's your own business. And I say that because we all have our individual businesses. So you can decide whether you want to assign as part of your standards, as part of your business practices, if you want to sign what's called an exclusive buyer's agency. From time to time, yeah, we do. For certain buyers, especially when we're providing them advantages that nobody else can, they have to sign it. They don't have a choice, or else they're not going to be able to obtain those advantages. Now, there's something to be said about exclusive buyer's agencies, right? by signing one, does it increase the likelihood they work with you and nobody else?
No.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it does. So if when they're signing the document, it increases likely they work with you and nobody else because there's an increased level of commitment, right? They sign something. There's an increased level of loyalty. Not that they won't. I'm just saying it increases the likelihood that they won't.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a difference between will and won't, and increased likelihood that they won't. Those are two different things.
Because
So
they can sign with you, but then work with someone else on the
Yeah.
side.
so
As
that's
long
happening.
as they don't purchase the property that you showed them, right?
No, not necessarily. Actually, when you have those exclusive buyer agreements, it's unless you're very specific about a property, unless you're specific about a town, which you could be, they generally aren't that specific, and it's wide ranging. So you could technically go after them, yet you wouldn't because it's not economically.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
It's
sense.
too much time.
Yeah, it doesn't make
So
sense.
do
to
you
go back and-
recommend getting that signed?
I
hear
do.
different things. I hear different
No, I
things.
recommend getting it signed if you're looking to increase your likelihood that they'll work
Okay.
with you. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying it's just a better way. I'm not going to
Okay.
tell somebody what's right or wrong. I'm telling you that there's just better ways of doing things. That's what I'm going to tell you. I take a different angle.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, for example, I've heard where someone said, I don't go out unless they sign them. Then somebody
And
else
that's
says,
fine.
well,
Yeah,
I take
that's
them
fine.
out. I take them out one time so they can see what I'm offering, and then they
And that's
can
called a
sign. They'll
trial.
be more
I call that
inclined
a
to sign.
and I call that a trial run. And that's one of the objection handlers. So when you're presenting the document, somebody says, I'm not comfortable signing this. I'm like, well, one of the objection handlers that I like to use and I like to share with others is, well, why don't we do this? I've already scheduled these homes to go view. Why don't we go out, see these homes? We'll call it a trial run. If you like what you see, we'll go ahead and sign this document after. If you don't like it, then we'll just shake hands, go our separate ways. How does that sound? Sounds fair? And that's called an objection handler. Now, I can tell you that it's happened to me a few times that I had to do use that objection handler, and they signed the document after the showings. So it's it's one of those things. You just have to ask for it. I think the one thing that prevents an agent from having an exclusive buyer's agency signed is just simply asking for it.
Mhm.
That's it. Research. There was a large study done about a decade ago by Weichert Realtors, and one of the questions, after they purchased the home was, did you sign an exclusive buyer's agency? And the majority of them said no. And the follow-up question was, well, what prevented you from signing an exclusive buyer's agency? And the number one response was, they didn't ask.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting, huh? All you have to do is ask. It's that simple sometimes. So back to the qualification of the buyer. Now,
I have a question. I'm sorry.
no,
In
it's
your
okay.
scenario, you spoke with Juan, is it? And he wasn't pre-qualified. However, you met with him at the office and you showed him the property.
Mhm. Yeah. So two things.
Mhm.
Two things. It's really, really important to understand that I don't view the showing itself as a showing. I view it as a buyer consultation opportunity to get
Okay.
face to face with them, educate them, communicate my value proposition more so. Because Juan was more the approach he took. I don't know if it's his personality or not for real life, but he's kind of took the approach of I want what I want and I want it now type of approach.
Mhm.
And that's why the system, I reversed it. I gave him what he wanted, and then he gave me what I wanted. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So
I
there's
did.
two systems when you have incoming calls, and if somebody's very aggressive, then you'll give them what they want, and then they'll give you what you want, which is answers to a few questions called pre-qualifying questions. So that's one system. The reverse is actually more I more commonly use, where I'll pre-qualify them first. I'll say that's we're getting an amazing amount of showings. Out of curiosity, where do you live now? Where are you moving? And I'll just get into the script right off the bat. And then at the end of the conversation, I'll give him what he wants, which is the appointment. So depending how that conversation goes. So those are the two systems. It's just reversed. So I view that face-to-face, regardless if it's at the house or in the office, as a buyer consultation. Yet I'm not going to just drop it on him. I will prepare him. I'll say, well, okay, great. Well, and while we're at the house, Would it be okay if we discussed the buying process, spoke with the market, and just answered, discovered what you were looking for? Well, that's a buyer consultation, right? And they always say yes, because you're asking for permission. Would it be okay if we did this, talked about this? Yeah, they always say yes, because what do they want to do? They just want to see this house. So it's also important to understand that 70% of buyers end up working with the agent that they meet face-to-face first. That's why it's important to actually get face-to-face. I'll meet a buyer, also to go back to your question, which I think is what you were looking for. I will meet with a buyer if they say my lease expires in December and I will not terminate it no matter what. I will still meet with them for a buyer consultation. Now, the reason I do that is, again, I want to be face-to-face. I want to be top of mind. Now I can drip on them. I know how much time, energy, and effort and how to communicate with them throughout between now and.
So you put it like in a pipeline. Oh, sorry.
They're in my pipeline. They're actually in my September, October pipeline. Why? Because if their lease expires in December, they really got to find something sometime around September, latest October. So now I'm the one that's in touch with them. I'm the one that's sending them listings. I'm the one that's talking to them. I'm the one that's texting them. I'm the one. Do you see why that's important?
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Now I'm not saying you have to do it like I do it. I'm just saying that's the strategy that I take.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's your question?
One of the things he said during the pre-qual was that he's been looking for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
At what point, where in the process do you gauge, like, why is it taking him this long? Is it just because he's not working with an agent, or is it just because he's not serious?
Motivation goes a long way. So motivation is key here. You also have to understand that there's 3 phases that a buyer is in. All right. So what are those 3 phases? There's the discovery phase. They're kind of looking, right? And many buyers are in that phase initially. They can spend weeks, months, even years in that phase. And then there's the decision phase. It's when they've made the decision. That's it. I'm buying. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to, start actually going to open houses. I'm going to start searching for an agent that I want to be working with, so on and so forth. They've made the decision. That's it. And now the final phase is your action phase. That's it. We're seeing homes. We're submitting offers. So the conversation is that when we were doing the role play, the conversation we were having is it was somewhere in between, depending on motivation. It was either he was in between the discovery and the action phase. So once he goes out and gets that pre-approval letter, I'd say he's well into that decision. He made the decision on buying a home, and now he's about to take action. So he's somewhere in the middle. So yeah, you really have to figure out where they're at, where their head's at, where their motivation's at. And then again, I said it before several times, I'm gonna say it again. Then we know how much time, energy, and effort to be investing in this particular client, consumer, prospect, buyer, right? So that's why it's important. And I know when I explain it, it does increase in awareness level. Oh yeah, buyers are either in this phase or in this phase. That's usually where they're at. So if we can understand that, then we know how to approach it better. I lost my train of thought. Was there any other questions that you guys wanted to ask? Okay, great. Now I know what I wanted to say. So, can anybody please share with me what kind of market conditions that we're in right now? What's the market like? What's it like to be a buyer out there right now? What do you guys say? That's one way to do it. What else?
Competitive. It's
Fast.
So you're saying it's a sucky, competitive, fast, strong seller's market. That's what I heard you guys say. And it's all very accurate. And how important is it to be working with a qualified buyer in that type of market, in that type of environment? On a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, it is. So what makes that so important?
They have to be able to pull the trigger really quickly.
And if they can't, or they're not competitive enough, then what happens?
They missed the opportunity.
You know, lose the opportunity.
Yeah, they're also kind of wasting your time too, right?
Yeah.
So we wanna work less, not work more. So how do we work less? What is it that we should be doing if we want to work less
Get them
as agents?
Ask
Right.
more questions.
Yeah, discover, right? Discover what they're looking for, so you don't have to show them homes that don't fit their needs. Our job is not to show them every single home. You don't get a medal or a cookie for it. Our job is to show them the right ones. That's our job. Now, how do we discover, or how do we know which ones are the right ones? Well, we have to do a full-on needs analysis. We have to discover what they're looking for, what's important to them, what their motivation is. That comes back to qualifying. All right, so we need to do a very good needs analysis, discover what they're looking for, and then we can show them the right ones. And we can also tell them not to go to certain other ones, since it doesn't it's not sufficient as far as their criteria is concerned for reasons X, Y, Z. It doesn't really matter what the reasons are, right? Just we're reiterating what they told us. I don't want to be in a flood zone. I don't want to be a busy street. I don't want to be in this price range. I don't want to. I don't want a one-bath home. I don't want this. I don't want that. So we're basically following their requests, their needs, their criteria. So considering that the market conditions are so strong, there is a new definition of qualified buyer. What's the old definition of a qualified buyer? Can everybody tell me what a definition of a qualified buyer is?
Ready and able.
Yeah, ready, willing, and able. That's the definition of an A buyer, right? That's not the definition anymore. That's not my definition anymore. My definition of a qualified A buyer in today's market is a ready, willing, and able buyer that is willing to do whatever it takes. That's a qualified A buyer. So how do we get them to that degree? How do we get them to become a real qualified A buyer? How do we do that as agents? Can they do that on their own? Can they get to that point on their own? I would argue that they can't. They need somebody to guide them. They need a leader in that relationship. They need somebody to educate them. Because if they don't, they're going to learn some real hard lessons, and many of them. It's not something that, oh, you submit one offer and you lose and you learn your lesson. That's not how it works. No, you're in a very, like you said, sucky, competitive, strong sellers market that is, it's not fun being a buyer or a buyer's agent in. So we're not just going to qualify them, we're going to prepare them so that they are a real qualified A buyer. We're going to talk to them about strength of offer. We're going to talk to them about the market conditions. We're going to talk to them about values of home and list prices versus sold prices and supply and demand and all that fun stuff. And that's going to make them a more professional buyer. And then, I'll share with you also, I have buyers and plenty of other buyers agents have buyers that they're educating them, and they're informing them and they're communicating really, really well, all this information to them. And you can do so until your face turns blue and they still don't get it. And it's okay. So we're going to educate them and we're going to do the best we can to communicate all the information to prepare them for what's ahead. Yet sometimes they will have to learn the hard way. Now, what does that mean? Learn the hard way. What do you guys think that looks like?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
So there are agents like myself and other buyers agents that will educate their buyers until our face turns blue and they still don't get it. And then they have to learn the hard way. So what does that mean? What does the hard way look like?
Wasting your time showing properties that just for the heck of it.
No, there's always a silver lining in everything that we do. It's always good. It's not always bad. It can't always be bad. Just like, it can't always be good. There's always a little bit of bad in every good, and there's a little bit of good in every bad. So it's never just completely one thing. So there's always a silver lining, even when we're showing homes and we're losing homes. They're becoming a more professional buyer, just like you're becoming a more professional agent. So there is a silver lining. So so learn the hard way means I explain to you all this information. I explained to you what the market conditions are like. I communicated to you what you're walking into. I told you exactly what we need to do in order to compete at a very high level. So you are a very qualified A+ buyer. and yet you still want to go about it your own way, fine. They're going to learn the hard way. They're going to submit an offer on a property that had 29 offers. They're going to think they were very competitive. Or when they offered asking price, only to find out that they were the lowest of all 29 offers. Now, what does that do? Do they learn anything from that?
No.
What do they learn from that?
Frustration.
Yeah, they're probably frustrated, not yet. I think it increases their awareness level. That's what they learn from that. So what does it increase their awareness level around? Because we just told them exactly what they're walking into, but they didn't want to listen. They still wanted to offer asking. So, and they were the last offer of all offers. So what does that increase their awareness level around?
The need for the agent, or you listen to your
Yeah, you might want to listen. You might want to listen to me a little bit more, right? No, I think that learning the hard, I call that learning the hard way, yet they do learn. That's the point. So they do become a more qualified, a more professional buyer through that experience. And I think going through that experience as an agent over and over again, it does make you a better agent too. Like I said, there's always a silver lining in everything that we do, good or bad. So now the buyer, what are they going to do the next time they like a house enough to submit an offer on? Are they going to come in stronger? They're going to come in cleaner? You would think so. You would hope so, right? Unless they're really, really stubborn. So yeah, and you know what? They may have to take another kind of slap to the face, so to speak, or they may have to learn a little bit more the hard way. So they may come in a little bit stronger, but maybe they didn't want to say, no, I don't feel comfortable buying the house as is. I'll come in strong with price. I'll compete at a high level. I'll go 10% above asking because I really like this house, but I'm not willing to strengthen my offer, by saying as is, or I'm not willing to limit or waive my appraisal contingency, or I'm not flexible to the seller's closing date, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. Okay, that's fine. Now what happens? Now they were the highest offer of 9 offers, but they didn't get the house because their terms were not as strong. Did they learn anything from that? I would argue that they did. Yeah, they learned something from that. They learned again the hard way. Yeah, the hard way. Again, when they start listening to us as agents, we're the experts, we're the guys, we're the leaders in the relationship. When they start listening to us, and there's going to be those clients, and they'll open up as time goes on. They'll understand what it takes to be an A buyer, a qualified A buyer in today's market, an A+ buyer in today's market, a buyer that's ready, willing, and able, and willing to do whatever it takes, because that's what it takes to obtain a roof over your head in today's market, because the competition is high and we have to prepare them for it. So we're going to do the best we can, and sometimes that's not good enough. That's okay. They will learn the hard way, and then I trust they'll give us enough opportunities, because they don't give you an unlimited amount of opportunities. Eventually they'll give you 3, 4, 5, 10 opportunities, but how many opportunities can somebody give you before they start looking in different directions? So you're going to lose buyers in this type of crazy market. Hopefully you don't. I can tell you that I do. So, and other agents do as well. There's a limited amount of opportunities that they provide you. So you're going to do the best you can with what you got. That's all I think all of us try to do. Every morning we wake up and we do the best we can. And what I can tell you is that you submit, you go on enough meetings, and you submit enough offers, you will get some accepted offers. Yet to have them come in with the expectation that they're going to find a house, submit one offer, and get an accepted offer is just not realistic in today's market. It's great when it happens. It's amazing when it happens, yet it's unlikely. All right, so we're gonna have to prepare them for that. We're gonna have to let them know, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I want you to be prepared for what's ahead. Just so you know, not every offer we submit will get accepted. Our average is 5 offers, 7 offers, 8 offers, whatever number is your conversion, to get one accepted. And what that means is that we're going to be submitting, like, hopefully, I trust that we'll come in strong and clean, and we'll do whatever we can to be very competitive in order to obtain it. Sometimes it's out of our control. On average, we'll have to submit 5 offers, 6 offers, whatever, to obtain a property. I just want to make you aware of that, so that the expectation is there and we're all on the same page. Sounds fair? Sounds good? And whatever. It's a very short script. We're just preparing them, because what we don't want is we don't want to allow them to set their own expectation. What happens is when we don't set expectations for them, they will set their own expectation. What does that mean? Oh, they think they're getting every house they submit an offer. We don't, that's not healthy. You don't want that. They are more likely to drop you if you are going to disappoint them. All right. So how do we lower that likelihood? Well, we set the expectation from the get-go. So they're not this, we're all human beings here. What happens when you have expectations that are not met? Yeah, you get frustrated, upset, disappointed. Well, let's prevent that from happening. Object, handle that objection upfront is what I'm trying to say. And it's just it's a very quick script. Let them know what's ahead of them. So we're towards the end of our time together. I mean, what kind of questions you guys got? I mean, talk to me.
I have a question also related to the market data because I'm a relatively new agent. And when I want to present this information to my clients, what's the best, or what would you say, quick place where I can get, relatively current market data to share with them?
Well, that's a little tricky. It's a tricky question for one major reason. The data is deceiving. And what I mean by that is that if you're going to be looking at sold properties and they sold a month ago, it doesn't mean anything. The properties that sold a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, those aren't the prices. Prices are changing on a weekly basis.
Exactly.
So that is what you call problematic. To get a real good pulse on the market, you have to be out there. You have to be showing homes. You have to be submitting offers, and then that way you get a real good idea of what's going on. You're becoming an expert by doing it. That's also a silver lining in what we do. You're not always going to obtain, but you do obtain knowledge, wisdom, information by doing that, by being out there, by playing in the game. And what happens is when you're submitting an offer and they say, oh, listen, there's 16 offers and you were number 7 and you were 10% above, it gives you an indication of what a buyer, not your buyer, what another buyer is willing to pay. It's making you more of an expert in the market conditions. So you just got to get out there. You just got to experience it, because the market's that crazy where comps, they don't help you. They can't help you. It's just not going to give you an indication of what a buyer is willing to pay for any specific property. They're always case by case because they're always different. They're always priced differently. They're always in different locations, different conditions, different sizes, different price points. The days they were listed are different. They're having open house, they're not having open house. There's so many different moving parts. As an agent, they're going to look to us to guide them. Yet the best teacher is experience. So just being out there, just showing homes, submitting offers, that'll get you that expertise that you're looking for, that confidence that you're looking for. That's where it comes from. And there's only one way to do it, and that's through the experiences, right? So I'm going to encourage you to have as many conversations with buyers, as many meetings as buyers, as many experiences with buyers as you can, because it will make you a better agent. It just does. That's the only reason I'm sitting here in front of you talking to you, because I do it every single day. I average an offer a day. That doesn't mean I'm getting them accepted. I submitted over 70 offers this year alone, and I only got 11 accepted. So I'm 1 for 7, and that's me, which knows how to strengthen an offer to the nth degree, to has the relationships with those agents. It's rough out there. It's not fun being a buyer. I'm at the lower price points, but the high price points, the luxury price points, are no different. Right? So it's you gotta be in the game. You gotta play to win, because you're definitely not going to do so from the sidelines.
No, I get that, and I get that. Of course, like anything else, comes with practice. But in my example specifically, I have somebody that I'm meeting with next week. She's already been pre-qualified, and I haven't been out there in a while because I was a part-time agent, just becoming a full-time agent. So what do I provide to her Monday when I see her?
Basic stuff. So if you know what area she's looking in, just get familiar with the inventory. So let's just say theoretically, if you're looking in, A town, there's 22 homes, or B town, there's 11 homes, in C town, there's 7 homes. Just get familiar with what's out there, and what's fresh to the market, what's stale on the market. I say get familiar with the inventory, so you can speak to it at a high level.
All right.
Can you also use the statistics?
You could.
The MLS, like that
could.
ratio, like how many?
You could, but I'm telling you, Juan.
Yeah.
It might do you a disservice. It might not actually
Okay.
help you at all.
All right.
So, I'm sorry, it's the train behind you. Yet, it's crazy to you know to say that even at this point. Yet, that's where we're at. We're in a crazy market, and prices.
Well, yeah, it is crazy because like a town that I'm looking at, there's a 2-bedroom. There was a 2-bedroom for almost 500,000.
Two
And now
bedrooms.
a
Two bedrooms.
2-bedroom,
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 1 bath. But now,
Yeah.
a 3-bedroom, 1.5 came on for like 470.
Well, you can assume that if the 2 bedroom selling for over 5, that the 3 is likely going to go over 5 too. It's going to get multiple offers, going to go well. But so when we're looking at properties nowadays, it's always best after you know the inventory, after you've seen the homes and you know what they're kind of selling for, is to kind of go superior, inferior. Not look at the prices. Don't look at the list price. And that's something that at some point you'll have that ability to communicate to your buyers. Say, hey, Mrs. Buyers, you got to not look at the list price. Don't look at the list price. That's not the right price. They underpriced it. You'll have that ability when you start seeing enough homes, when you're out there working. Even if you're not with buyers, go out there and see the inventory. I always recommend it so that you increase your confidence level, so you become more of an expert in that niche, especially if you're working in a specific area. Go see the active inventory. There's really not that much in any town. So by all means, go see it so that you're prepared for the opportunity and you'll become an expert. And now all of a sudden, we can really get them qualified. We can really get them to be a qualified A+ buyer in today's market. And that has to come from us. There's a lot of stuff that comes from us, that it's internalizing the pre-qualification scripts, which is only a few questions, honestly, to get them ready, to prepare them for what's to come, to have that discussion about strength of offer, to have that conversation about market conditions, and let them know what lies ahead. And there's nobody better than you to do it. So just be ready to prepare them so that when the time comes, you're converting at a much higher level. It's a skill set. The better that we can prepare them, there's a direct correlation to arriving at the outcome they're looking for and that we're looking for, right? So it is a skill set. There is a correlation there. And if we don't prepare them, then we're less likely to arrive at the outcome. You might have to submit a few more offers than you expected if that's the case. So, do the best you can. And then we're always working to get better. We all have a common goal. Our common goal is to be better today than we were yesterday, and to be better tomorrow than we are today. That is a common goal that we all have. And that's not going to stop. Personal development doesn't stop. It's part of why you are here today, because you want to learn, you want to get better, you want to grow. And I can tell you, regardless if you're a newer agent or have been doing this for a while, if I asked you the question, are you better now than you were a month ago? You'll probably tell me, yeah, I'm better now than I was a month ago. And are you going to be better now? Are you going to be better a month from now than you are now? And you'll say, yeah, I'm going to be better a month. And what about a year from now? Yeah, I'm going to be better. That's how growth happens. We don't grow overnight, we grow over time. So you're just going to keep plugging in. You're going to keep having conversations, meetings, experiences. You'll become a better agent for it. And moving forward, you will improve your skill set, improve your conversion. You'll be able to qualify buyers better. You'll be able to qualify sellers better. You'll be able to convert at a much higher level, and everything's going to be okay. How does that sound?
Good.
All right. So you just have to, I think it's important that you see it. That's why I say it out loud. I think envisioning growth and envisioning you growing is that important, because it keeps you going. Because if you can't see it, you're more likely to give up, and nobody wants you to do that. You all have something special to provide. You all, only you can provide your clients and the people that you meet what you can provide. So don't rob them of that. Don't rob those people or the world of what only you can do. So keep growing, keep learning. And then I do want every single one of you to know, I always welcome your phone calls, your emails, your text messages. I'm always very responsive. I'll help you out with whatever you need, but you have to reach out to me because I'm not a mind reader, right?
Appreciate it.
So just know that. And I know we're at the end of our time. Any last questions, comments?
Yeah, I have one question. I mean, what do you advise, or maybe, I know you're short for time. Like, I have a client who's looking to move to Bergen County, but has no specific town.
So you'll actually find that's more common. It used to be where they were more specific on areas and more specific on towns. And what happened is Now, he might not have anything that's important to him, yet now it's more common for buyers to expand their search criteria because of the lack of supply. So it increases their options. So now, as buyers agents, we find ourselves going further out. And it's crazy to say it even, but I never used to show three homes in 3 different towns. It didn't happen. This is like, it's a new phenomenon because the supply is so low. You find yourself a little bit more scattered, driving further different distances, which kind of sucks with $5 a gallon on Supreme, because that's what I have to fill up. So it's it's one of those things. It's just, you kind of, it is what it is, and you have to accommodate.
Do you see it
them.
changing? I mean, the interest rates keep going up.
The interest rates are not neutralizing anything. They can keep going up. They can go up another point. The demand is just too high, and supply is too low. We have too much of a lopsided supply and demand. Now, I will share with you that what I'm seeing inventory levels go up. If there's 22 homes in a town now, it's better than it was a month ago where it was 11. And if there's 8 homes in a town now, there was 4 a month. Inventory levels doubled, yet it's not even close to where it should be to be a neutralized market. We're still seeing some crazy things. And a lot of these buyers that have been looking 6 months, a year, those are the crazy ones, right? Those are the ones that have a very high sense of urgency, that know what it takes, and those that comes waving everything, coming, super high. Just take my money, give me the home. I just want a roof over my head. So those are the ones that we kind of need to get out of the way to neutralize the market. And so you're going to see more of the same, I think, moving forward for the rest of the year at the very least. I don't like it. Buyers don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it. Listing agents don't like it. The sellers are really the only ones that might like it, but nobody really likes it. It's just too crazy of a market. Yet it is what it is, and we're going to keep working because, well, we got to pay the bills. Now, something I can tell you about bills, bills don't stop. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. So you got to keep working. And me, I'm the breadwinner. I gotta make money. If I don't make money, I'm not paying my bills. So that's the sense of urgency that I have. That's why I don't stop. So it's a good sense of urgency to have. And it sucks. And the market that we're in, and I'm going to share with you that you got to be okay with it. You got to have some thick skin. You got to understand it's part of our job description at this point, to deal with it and move on. And the only reason we ever look back is for reflection, because reflection is a good teacher. So we're going to ask ourselves, what could we have done better, said better, done this differently, done that differently, and that will make us better agents. And every experience we have is a good thing, because it does make us a better agent. And it's better than any classroom you can ever attend.
That's true. I was in a class today with James Shaw, and one thing that I just wanted to share, he mentioned, there's going to be the ups and downs, of course, in the industry. We don't know what's going to happen next, but always remember why you're doing this. Like, you're doing it, like you said, you're the breadwinner. You're doing it for the family, or you're doing it for whatever reason, and just keep that in the back of your mind to keep you going.
Yeah, just got to keep going. And that why, that purpose, it will drive you. That vision will also drive you. That's why I want you to have that vision of growth, that you are going to get better over time, regardless of what you go through. It's because of what you go through. You're going to be going through growth and improving your growth. So just keep doing what you're doing. Everything's fine. If you need help from me, I'm always available to you. I will be in Rutherford tomorrow. I do productivity coaching over there from 10 to 11 in Rutherford. I do 10 to 11 on Thursdays. I was there earlier today. So if you want to meet face to face, it's always a good opportunity. So reach out. In the meantime, I want to wish everybody a great Thursday night. Be well. Have a great night.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Good night, Ron.